the Acratech Panoramic head, Leophoto Levelling base. We've got ponies. And just earlier, we had some bird things flying around. Not exactly David Attenborough, but that looks in pretty decent focus from what I can tell. What is it? Is it a buzzard? It's getting closer. It put a focus box on it then, and then it lost it. But it does seem to be in. Focus. I don't know if they were buzzards or what they were, but we've learned a couple of things. I need to find out whether the function 3 button here, I've turned to DX mode, because that would probably be quite handy for cropping into birds when they're, you know, in the distance. It might be that when you're recording video that it won't switch to DX. You might have to turn the recording off, switch, and then turn recording on. I'm not quite sure. I will check the setting, but I got a couple of photos of them flying, so I'll insert, you know, a couple of photos. Mainly I recorded them flying, and what we've got here is I've got it set up so right to my fingertips I've got the record button. So right to my fingertips I can hit record. So we're now recording these ponies, and there's one lone one over there. Let's get him right in the middle, and we'll zoom in on him or her. And at first, as you zoom in, it's focusing on the horse, and then it focuses on the head, and then as it detects the eye, it then switches to the eye. And if it can't quite make out the eye, because it's quite a dark horse, this one, well, they're all quite dark actually, but it's focusing between the head and the eye. And then, as I said before, when I zoom back out, I'm then getting a white box and getting a grey box, and it's basically focusing. I'm guessing the arrows which are on the back are something to do with which ones you can select, you know, because it's obviously finding loads of ponies, and I'm guessing it doesn't really know which one you want to focus on. So that'll be something to investigate. If you understand that, whack a comment below. But with this we can pan and tilt. And one thing that I had to do, I had to turn off the focusing on the focus ring, the manual focusing, because I was turning that thinking it's the zoom, and it's the focus ring. If you want to turn that off, you need to go to focus in the settings. It's like A something or other, A10 or something. And then when we zoom in, it then boxes that pony. That's pretty decent. We're at, for some reason, I'm on 60th. I might have to check the settings, because I'm on 60 frames per second. I normally do it at 30, so I must have pressed something, because I'm on 60 frames per second, and a 60th of a second. So I've obviously pressed something. So I'm now at 1/25th of a second, because you need the, ideally you want to be shooting at double the frame rate. So that's a note to self, to check the frame rate, because I normally set it to 30 frames per second. So I'm not quite sure how I ended up at 60th. I've obviously pressed something without realizing. We're on 8-bit, H265 8-bit, for the simple reason I don't want to fill up my card too much. And we're on AFF, so it's on full focus just all the time. And as I say, the beauty is I've got everything to my, this is really cool. Just so lucky that we saw these ponies here. It's like someone put them there, because I was hoping, I was going to do some filming and maybe just try and catch Bella wandering around or something. When you've got your eye to the viewfinder, your thumb can adjust camera or film, you know, camera or movie. Obviously in camera mode, you've got your autofocus back button up here, and you can get your fingers down to the play button if you want to down here. But when you're filming, you can actually switch easily without really doing anything with your hands or your head when you're looking through the viewfinder, between film and camera, you know, easily there. If you are using this, you can get your hand to the function 3 button, and then obviously if you need to get your fingers to the function 1 and 2, they're obviously on the front and you can reach them. You've got obviously this information here you can see in the camera, so keep an eye on your histogram to make sure that it's you know, you're not overexposing or underexposing. And obviously just double check your frame rates and everything, because I did boo-boo on that one, but I'm not going to worry about it now. But so just keep an eye on that. When I get home, I'll check it. This is the panoramic Acratech tripod head, so I can loosen it there, and then you can pan and tilt there. I'll have to figure out, there must be a way, there's probably a way of balancing it, which I haven't quite figured that out. And then on this side over here, on the other side, which you can't see, there's a tensioning, so you know, you could effectively put it there and it will hold it there, and you can still, but that's quite stiff like that, but it does hold it, you know, no hands, and that is holding it, then it's slipping there. So you know, I'm wondering whether there probably is a balancing point on there. I'm not quite sure. A little bit of playing there to do, but it's you know, it's a really nice, and if you loosen it off a little bit and you just, you know, you keep your hand on it hand on the camera, you know, then you can pan and tilt. And I was following those birds quite well. It's the only birds I seem lucky to follow these days. And then there's a leveling bubble. There's a leveling bubble right in the middle. It's not level at the moment because I've fiddled with it, but there's a leveling bubble in the middle, and once that's level, then the tripod is level, and it doesn't matter where you move the camera, it's going to be level. And then I've got this Leophoto Levelling base here, which goes on top. Yeah, that's really nice. Really pleased with that. I'll try and do some more, you know, I'll try and do more moving forward with this. If you've got comments or things like that, you know, pop them below and we'll learn together. I got this in America, but I got a friend in America, so I had it sent to my friend. This is a Kirk foot. So I've got a Kirk foot here, because at the moment this is a new lens. So this is the Z8 with the 100 to 400. So I will in time get a Kirk foot, you know, an Arca Swiss foot that fits on there. But for now, this is like an Arca Swiss Kirk base plate. So you kind of attach it to anything, you know, any base plate, and then it, you know, it just goes on there like that. And then you've got a screw on the other side. Make sure it's on good and proper, and then, you know, you can film your ponies or anything. It's a really it's a really nice bit of kit, this, I must say. What we actually came for was these. And we're definitely focusing on these ponies. We've got about 4 or 5 focus boxes with arrows, loads of boxes with little arrows on them. But this is way cool. Yes, if anyone uses the Z8, I'm getting a little grey box, and then I'm getting a white box with a big, like, arrow. Those birds have come back around there. They're up over down there. There it is there. I have programmed we got a box on that one. It's focusing on that. Wow. Has he got something in his popples? Yeah, got a box on him. Oh, he's dropped something. Anyway, it's coming up to 6 o'clock soon, so I better get cracking. I just want, you know, I brought this with me on my dog walk. Saw the ponies, just by chance, a few birds. The feathered kind, you know, flew over just earlier, so we did a little bit of recording of those. So yeah, the Acratech Panoramic head, Leophoto Levelling base. This tripod, this is a Gitzo GT2541 tripod. I bought this probably maybe not 20 years ago, but certainly more than 15 years ago, between 15 and 20 years ago. And I haven't really used it very much, but it's a really nice tripod. It's not the lightest, but it's carbon fiber. It's a decent tripod. So we'll have a look around in the coming weeks and months, and we'll see what else we can, photograph and film. And we'll get this, we'll get this out again. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and hit that notification button to all. Thanks.